What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spread the Positive podcast. I am your host, Trent Denson, founder of Spread the Positive and STP Productions, where our mission is to bring light to what's going right and to showcase and facilitate efforts that are making a positive impact in our local communities and beyond. Be sure to check us out, spreadthepositive.net. And also, if you're looking to get involved with the STP Podcast Network, please reach out and just check out all the amazing shows that are on the network. We continue to grow. We continue to build. Be part of the solution. Be part of what's going right. Welcome to the show.
Hey, my name is Brian Nell. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Primis Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly be a pleasure to be a part of what they do. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Primis Mortgage is a subsidiary of Primis Bank, a member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Primis Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
This episode of the Spread the Positive podcast is brought to you by the 1200 Club supporters. Huge shout out to our good friends, Mary Fugit with Gateway Title. For all of your real estate closing needs, be sure to hit up Mary over at Gateway Title. The team at Gateway is second to none, and we highly recommend them for all of your real estate transactions, refinancing needs, and anything of the sort. Please check them out. Huge thank you to Mary. As always, we love you. Casey Broach with KK Fitness Training. Casey is a personal trainer on the Faster Way app. She has actually gone through the Faster Way herself. This app has a crazy proven track record of helping people get to their fitness goals quicker with a healthier approach, and it's changing people's lives around the country and around the world. Casey is killing it in this area. She is passionate about helping people. She's done it herself, she believes in it, and she can walk you through this entire process. So be sure to check out at KK Fitness Training on Instagram, and you can reach out to her via email, kkfitnesstraining@gmail.com. Big shout out to you, Casey. Keep killing it. We appreciate your continued support of the 1200 Club here at Spread the Positive. Thank you so much. This episode is also brought to you by Philip Byard with Music City Hardscapes and Music City Pond Pros. Philip is a great example of all things STP, hardworking, impeccable reputation, and even better work in serving his customers. If you need any help in the hardscaping or pond maintenance world, please give my guy a shout. Be sure to check out Music City Pond Pros and MusicCityHardscapes.com for more information. Huge shout out to you, Philip. Thank you for your continued support. Last but not least, this episode is brought to you by Pete Adams and Travis Swan over at Adams & Swan. Adams & Swan is your local advertising and digital marketing company that uses a results-driven approach to small and medium business revenue growth. They develop a custom strategy that is specific to your business and create dynamic advertising and digital marketing campaigns that deliver new clients and customers. Check them out at adamsandswan.com. Big shout out to my guys, Pete and Travis. Thank you for the support, guys. Means so much. Can't wait to have you in. Y'all be sure to check them out, adamsandswan.com. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast, man. I got a super special guest with us today. Super fired up for this one, man. I'm going to just get right into it, man. Mr. Gunnar Peterson. How are you, sir?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate that, and it was well worth the drive.
I appreciate it.
You were so funny. You set that out with, if you don't mind, it's a drive, and look, if you could, and it's a drive. And I was like, who cares about a drive?
Yeah.
In L.A., by the way, I would have driven that far and only gone about 3 miles.
There you go. It's all in perspective, right? Well, yeah, man, Gunnar, how I usually like to do it, man, is take us back to early passions, however comfortable you are sharing some of your childhood and just kind of what shaped you into who you are today, man. I know that's a loaded question.
Well, yeah, that's how long are we here? Are we camping out? I have tons of. I was always athletic, sports,
Okay.
everything. I have a younger brother who is actually taking on the role of the older brother
Okay.
as he became hyper successful in life, and we did everything. I was a fat kid,
Okay.
but it didn't stop me from doing sports. We lived in Houston, Texas,
Okay.
and then my parents moved overseas, and we went to a boarding school in Switzerland.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was pretty much if there weren't a lot of boys in the school,
Okay.
it was like 5-1 girls to boys. So
Wow.
if you were ambulatory, you were pretty much on the team. I mean, I was a fat kid running cross country. Picture that. But
Cross country is no joke, man.
well, it was that thing where I took off out of the gate to impress, and then
Yeah.
as you crested the hill and I went
Just
out of
be
sight,
coasting.
I was walking. But it was unbelievable experience. Switzerland for 6 years, and then came back and went
Wow.
to school.
How old were you?
I was 12
Okay.
till I graduated, and then
Wow, that's
and
some
then I went-
formative years.
It is, and
in
then I went
Switzerland. Wow, that's cool.
to Duke.
You a
and-
Dookie?
Yeah, I'm a Dookie.
Oh
yeah.
man, went to NC State.
Oh, you
We
did?
got some. Yes,
Somebody else that couldn't get into Duke. I get it. Yeah.
100%. I got no denying that.
Oh my God! How about I've used that line for 40 years and it still makes me happy.
Oh man, that's so true though. There's levels.
Although you guys won when I was there, allow me to date myself. You guys won in
Jimmy
80,
V.
in '83.
Wow,
Yeah,
you were there.
I was.
What was that like?
It was
Selfishly, man. Like
you probably weren't even born.
I was not, but yeah,
There you go.
I was not.
Nailed that.
I was not.
It was look, and didn't Carolina win? Did Carolina win in '82? I think
Yeah,
Carolina won
Carolina won
'82,
82,
NC
yeah.
State in '83. So
Yep.
we were rolling through Chapel Hill and Raleigh respectively just to
Yeah.
just to drink some of that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Duke didn't have his time till a little later, but I think Coach K.
Coach K took a lot from Jimmy V.
Coach K. Oh yeah, and Coach
Their friendship's something I always admire. It's a
Yeah.
special thing.
But I think all those guys what's that old line? Cooperation happens at the bottom, collaboration happens at the top. So I
Facts.
think those guys are at the top, and there's way more. Obviously, there's competition on the court, but I think there's more collaboration in terms of coaching and styles and just like life takeaways.
Yeah.
Those guys have all contributed, not just in how you carry yourself on the court, but also in how you
More so off, right?
off the court,
More
right?
so off, right?
And that stuff, there's trickle down, and it definitely translates, and a lot of good men have come out of all those places
Absolutely.
and been forged, in the through the sports channels there.
Yep.
So yeah,
Triangle area is a special place.
totally
It
right.
really is, man.
If you read if you ever read that book by Daniel Coyle, The Talent Code, they talk about talent hotbeds, right? Like there was a time when some large percentage of the world's top tennis players were coming out of this tiny place in Sweden, and then
Sure.
right, so then you go the basketball talent hotbed, and that area really fostered. Even if the people weren't all from there, they grew into their greatness in that area.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always, man, anytime I can shout it out, I got to do a full day from Jimmy V. You know what that is?
No, I don't. What is that?
Spend time in thought, laugh, and be moved to tears. Good, bad, and different. He says that's a full day.
Yeah. Wow. I think about that, and I think as I've gotten older, I would think I hit that more. I find I can be moved to tears by two lines in a song when I'm driving to work in the morning.
Good.
Or
Like,
somebody
we need to
says
celebrate that stuff.
says something on a podcast that I'm
Sure.
listening to, and I just feel my eyes swell up and
Doing it
well
right
up,
now,
and I
man.
go, "What's happening?"
I know.
My other trainer will arrive at the gym and goes, "Dude, what's the matter with your eyes? You got allergies?" I go,
I'm just feeling it.
"No, dude, I
I'm
heard
in my
something on a
feels."
podcast makes me want to go hug somebody. Come over here."
No,
That's
I
it.
love
Yeah,
that.
good. Yeah.
That's a quote, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
something I live my life by. Honestly, it's part of that ESPY speech, his most famous speech. But he says that, and I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
So shouts to Jimmy V.
Yep.
Shouts to Coach K. Shouts to all the Dookies.
Yep.
It's hard for me to say that, but
Yeah, a little hard for me to, and I'm definitely not shouting out UNC.
yeah, we'll leave the
get
Tar
over
Heels
that,
out of
people.
that one. Yeah.
we can agree. You're rooting for UNC. You're rooting for State.
State.
I'm rooting for Duke, and we're both rooting for whoever's playing
Anybody
UNC.
but Carolina.
Yep.
Yep. Facts, big facts. We
Yeah.
just hit a whole new level
Yeah,
of
exactly.
bonding. No, that's universal. So that's amazing, man. So Switzerland, and then you come back. What was
No,
that and then you went to Duke. Yeah, yeah.
And then
what
I
was
moved.
Duke like, man? Talk to me about Duke.
Duke was great.
Yeah.
Duke was
What'd you study?
French and Spanish. How about that? I know, right? Move right into training with that under your belt. It was one of those things where I wasn't the kid who knew from age 7 that he wanted to be a doctor and he was dissecting frogs, and I was not that kid. I just knew I wanted to graduate. I knew I had to graduate by, what your parents put that. You're not going to college to not graduate. So,
Facts.
And then I got out, and then it was like, the world's your oyster. Like, what am I doing? The world's your oyster. The world's a stage. Like, what? And I went to New Orleans. I had friends who were attending medical school and law school respectively down there, and I followed.
Okay.
And I hung out, and I started a retail ice delivery business down there.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah.
And I did that for a couple of years, and then my father pointed out in a directly, not so indirectly way that financially my ceiling was not what he would think I wanted, but he had to walk me
delicately
slowly through
I feel that.
Financially what my max would ever be.
Yeah.
And it was not
What
anywhere. If I had some money in my pocket and I had a house and a car and a motorcycle, I was like, I'm killing the game.
Absolutely. You are. I mean,
you are, but if you want more,
yeah.
I joke with my wife now, like, the only stress we have is because we want more and want to do more and want to provide more for our kids. If we could just kick it and be comfortable with, accepting what we have in the present, which we can to a degree, we'd have no stress. But because I want my kids to see other parts of the world and to travel and to have new stuff, material like shoes and stuff that ultimately is unimportant, but I know for kids, like, that's currency when you're,
100%.
So,
that's beautiful though.
But it is.
Where'd that come, or what do you attribute that to? Because that's
Which part?
Just the drive to always want more, I guess, or just.
My dad was a big time business guy, and he was like, I don't know, he was. He worked and traveled, but he provided, so we always had, whether he was there or not. And I look back, I don't have any resentment. I'm not one of those kids, that I'm terminally angry at my parents. My parents provided an unbelievable lifestyle for us, and we did phenomenal things. And if they weren't both there, it's because my dad was working to make sure that my mom could be there and that we had everything and beyond that we needed.
That's beautiful.
So he sacrificed that. I don't know if he knew it as a sacrifice then, but
I bet he did.
Yeah, maybe. And now I see my dad. He lives on a farm about 2.5 hours from where I am in Nashville, and I get out there as often as I can, and it's worth the drive. Even if I drive in, go to lunch with them, do a lap around the farm. My mom passed away, but we'll go out. She was. We sprinkled the ashes on the farm, so if we go out there, you sit and have a little quiet talk with mom, and then I'll drive back, or I'll spend the night. We just my little son, who's actually here, and then
producer Zane in the building. Shouts to Zane.
Producer Zane over there, 8 years old, rocking the podcast.
Just rocking it, man.
But like, we drive out there and we'll ride around the farm and my dad's little work vehicles.
Absolutely.
And, so I see him now. I see him more, but you never see him enough. And I don't think anybody. I would say that you gotta spend the time, whether it's with your parents or your kids or your friends. The whole lone wolf thing, I mean, that's a cool concept for an action film, but in real life,
a real thing.
I just, it's not for me anyway. Do what you want to do, but I think you miss out.
I feel that. I know my mom's going to hear that.
I think we're social creatures, right?
100%.
My dad asked me during the scamdemic. Sorry, just threw that out there.
You're good.
But during that whole thing, and everything was shifting to in-home stuff, and I was working for the Lakers at the time, and we were doing Zoom workouts with the players and making it work as best we could. And my dad was sending me articles on fitness and where it's going, and in-home stuff and apps and Zoom cardio classes and in-home equipment that was being bought up, and companies that had been fledgling or struggling were now sold out and backed up orders for months. And he said, do you ever think gyms are going to come back? You got to consider that, because I had a gym in LA. I mean, it was a private gym, but still, he's like, do you ever think people are going to want to go back? And I said, yes.
Absolutely.
I said, I think we're social creatures.
We're dying to. Yeah.
I do think that we're dying to. We're social creatures. We want to be there. We want to be showing off on one end, and on the other end, just being around people who are alone for other big chunks of their life. I think that's an outlet, and I think we need that, and I think we are those creatures. And so I never doubted that gym business was coming back. Maybe it comes back differently, or maybe it comes back more, or maybe it comes back slowly and then it builds to where it was and there's a crescendo, and who knows. But I definitely never worried that the gym business was going away.
Yeah, that was a safe bet, honestly.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people, if you look, like I know a guy who's he's a finance guy, he's an investor, and he went hard into 2 or 3 different in-home fitness businesses. And I think he did very, very well. And then at one time I asked him towards the tail end, but no one knew it was the tail end of it. I said, what about this? And he goes, we're not doing anything like that. And I said, I thought you invested in these things. He goes, we did, but it's over.
Wow.
He goes, we're done investing in that. We're done investing in that.
Wow.
We don't think it's going that way anymore. It's time to pull out of those and go back into other stuff. And he nailed it. I mean, he's a very successful guy anyway, but his ability to read that market, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I would have kept throwing him ideas for in-home stuff, and he said that market's done.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I think some people still, I mean, there's a great account on Instagram, Garage Gym Reviews, with this guy Coop, who's phenomenal. I met him. He came and did my gym, but he rates equipment and home stuff and how to do it. And I think he helped during that time, especially a lot of people take that first step, or take a bigger step into doing home gyms.
Sure.
And I think people went from having like a set of adjustable dumbbells and a jump rope into really building out and committing more space, whether it was one side of the garage or a part of the basement that had never been built out. I think a lot of people really grew their home fitness ideas.
Is good all around, obviously.
Anything, whatever it takes to get you moving. I'm not. Yeah. I don't have any of that. Let's knock anybody's exercise. I don't. I don't care if you walk carrying dumbbells. I don't care if you go up and down your stairs X amount of times. I don't care if you do push-ups and body weight. I don't care if you are a member of 4 different gyms, depending on whatever your thing is, as long as you're doing something good for you.
I feel that. Man, I feel that. That's
no
awesome.
No reason to judge it.
Right. All right, man. So, like, I got so many questions. So, where did the fitness route take shape? Or where was that?
I was always a workout guy.
Okay.
Not always. I got started in college, really.
Yeah.
In boarding school, I was active doing all kinds of sports, but there was a machine called a bull worker. You can Google that, and it was like you squeezed it this way, and it had band this way. So, we're kids. We're trying to like get arms.
Yeah.
But going into like a facility, that didn't come till college, really.
Okay.
And
so you were doing the ice business. Your dad said.
And I joined the minute I got out of college, because at college I could work out in
like the gym
in the rec center type gym. But then all my fraternity brothers were varsity athletes, most of them football. And there was a strength coach there at the time, Sonny Falcone. In fact, he just left, strength coach emeritus, and had a number of different roles at Duke consulting. And he gave me access one summer to the varsity weight room.
Wow.
And if I opened it, kept it clean, and closed it, I could use it as a non-varsity athlete.
That's awesome.
It was great. And I would always say, Sonny gave me my the leg up to being in that world of seeing athletes train like high level D1 athletes. And I thought, I'll never be as strong as these guys, but if I can get the form locked in, I could turn my civilian body into something.
Yeah.
That was
Fair
that,
enough.
and it was like Muscle and Fitness magazines.
Wow.
And then when I moved to, and then after college, when I went to New Orleans, I joined 3 gyms around town as quick as I could because my ice business took me to all parts of the city.
Nice.
So if I was more downtown picking up ice or more in Metairie delivering ice, and I had a break and I wasn't able to get my early workout in, if I had an early client, I would pop into one of those gyms,
Yeah.
get my workout and be done. So, and then I moved to LA.
Okay.
When my dad pointed out how my ice business would never allow me to buy an island in the Caribbean
Sure,
with a boat
sure,
and a helicopter. And I moved to LA and immediately joined Gold's Venice because
That's the measuring sticker. That's the Mecca, right?
in that era,
Oh,
that's
especially.
the place.
Yeah.
And probably still to this day, you got to give Gold
That's
credit.
the Arnold, right? I mean,
Yeah, Arnold was World too, but yeah,
okay.
World Jam. He's there now at Gold.
Okay. Okay.
And I joined World, and I joined Gold's, and I joined these places called Nautilus Plus,
Okay.
and I joined whatever I could, and found different odd jobs around LA, and
Yeah.
bounce, and where can I get a workout? And here, there, sort of similar to my New Orleans routine.
Were you doing the ice or just
No. I was doing anything I could. I was doing
I got you.
production assistant jobs.
Nice.
I remember having to clean out a guy's storage units once for his company and find some stuff. I remember going to something for Dick Clark Productions, having
Wow.
to take stuff out of storage units
Yeah,
and move
yeah.
them. And I worked in TV as a production assistant for My Two Dads and A Different World.
Wow.
Yep.
Dude.
And then I
That's so
did.
cool.
I worked at an agency, a very small agency, and I worked at a very small management company. And I was leaving the gym one morning, and a guy asked me to work out with him. And I was like, kind of sizing him up. And I go, yeah, we can figure it out. I said, I go early though. And he goes, great, no problem. What do you charge? And I was like, wait, what?
What do I charge?
Yeah, I thought he was a workout guy. I thought he was just
yeah.
like somebody to lift with me.
Yeah.
And someone I know said, you have to do that. That's like your thing. You could crush in that.
Yeah.
I was like, really? So I trained that guy and then another guy and still had my job at a management company. And then after a while, not long, couple weeks, I went,
Dude, that's so cool.
I am making more in 3, 4, 5, 6 hours training these people than I am at this job. And I quit the job and pushed.
Let's go, man. Dang, that's so cool.
But it's a jump off. Like, you can't do that, in my opinion. It would be tough to do that if you
hadn't had.
But if you're in like a dead end job, but you have responsibilities like a wife and kids
Yep.
or house payments. I didn't have that.
Right,
I was a single dude, and it was like, I can do that. I can pivot in any way I want.
Sure.
And you're doing it. You don't have health insurance. You
Right.
don't have benefits. You don't have
Any of
anything.
that. No.
Yeah. And you're just winging it. And
Very familiar with winging it.
there you go.
Yeah.
So that was the plan was there is no plan,
Yeah.
right?
Which is a beautiful place to be, also kind of scary. And
At that time,
it's beautiful at that time.
My middle son now, Jack, is 24, and
Okay.
he graduated from SMU, and great guy. Like,
Yeah.
if I had a job to hire somebody, he's the guy I'm going to hire.
Right.
He's almost 6'4". He's strong handshake, look you in the eye, gets the joke. And right now he's worked in sports. He's worked in pro sports in England since he graduated. He worked in Dallas for, I think, Dallas FC, and then he worked for the Dallas Wings, and he worked for the Queen's Park Rangers in England. Like,
Wow.
he's been in pro sports working, and I don't think those were like love or passion for him. So right now he's deciding, and I have zero problem with that.
That's awesome.
He's 24. Like,
Yeah.
don't get locked
The fact
in.
that you've done all that at 24 is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And don't get locked into doing something that just pulls you down and sucks the energy out of you, and that makes you want to drink till you black out and
Sure.
sleep in, and not like you're just dreading. I don't want that for him.
Yeah.
So
a good
you're
dad,
like,
man.
you're at this age, take a chance.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
100%.
Wing it.
Yes. Big wing it guy, especially in that situation.
Yeah, but you're not winging it. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
a setup here. Like, there's an investment here. There's
Yeah.
there's an aptitude here. You can see this is not winging it.
No.
But if
not
you
now.
winged it until you got to this, then it's working out for you.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely been a journey. Definitely been a journey. But to your point, like, yeah, that's just super sound advice for anyone out there, period.
But it's not like some
Or
people
in that situation.
But some people may see that as irresponsible. I have other people go, what do you mean? You have to get a job right away and you have to work it. Do you?
Yeah.
At some point, when you join the workforce, you're in it.
Yep.
Right? And then at some point, when you start amassing responsibilities,
That's when you got to lock in.
that's when you can't.
Take as much risk.
Yeah, you can't risk it. You can't roll the dice all the time if other people are counting on you. If you're the provider, if that's the way you've structured it, that's a tough call. And if you do, you better hope you have support, like unwavering support of the people that you're responsible for. Because if not, you're going to have fear of not making it, and then coming home to the daily flogging for what you're not doing. That's a bad recipe for happiness. That doesn't pan out for you.
No.
So
No, it doesn't. Man, that's some good stuff. Thank you for that. Seriously. Like, people need to hear that. I really believe that. Like, that just spoke to people for sure. So
I used to have somebody in my life who said to me, "You're so immature." And I said, "Oh, okay." Because I am, and I still like. I hang out with my 8-year-old son, but you're a new producer over here, and we laugh at some pretty childish stuff. And I think
doesn't take much. Man.
But I think that's fair because he's a child.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't be, but what I said at the time was, don't mistake immaturity for irresponsibility.
There you go.
If
There you
I'm
go.
honoring all of my responsibilities, right? If I'm a good citizen, if I'm a good father, if I'm paying my taxes, if I'm taking care of my health, providing for my family, and I'm doing all those things, I'm allowed to be immature,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
You know,
I love that.
Sylvester
couldn't agree more.
Stallone told me years ago.
Sylvester Stallone, to your
to-
face.
told me years
Man.
ago to not lose that immaturity.
Yeah. They
And
say don't
he
grow
said
up.
to me, his quote was, maturity is overrated.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying be a fool,
No.
and that's not what he was saying, but avail yourself to those laughs,
Yeah,
to those childlike moments, and don't let the kid inside you die because you think you have to be, now that you're a certain age or in a certain tax bracket, that you have to behave a certain way.
Sure.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
100%.
So
And you're proof of it, man. Like, look at all the things you've done, right? I mean,
yeah, but I'm still laughing at the
I
fart
know.
jokes. By
I
the way.
know,
Like,
come on.
Right, I'm still
There's never-
right.
It's funny every time.
It's funny every time.
Come on.
And those little dumb jokes, and
Always.
sometimes my
The
wife
dad
looks and
jokes forever, bro.
and I'll send her something, and she'll look and she'll go,
That's so dumb.
"I get it, but why is that so funny to you?" And I go, "I can't explain, babe.
It's
I don't know.
so
Like,
funny.
I see that would have been funny when I was 11, and it's still
funny now.
It's funny now, dude.
Man, I appreciate that so much. So, man, I want you to, I mean, go ahead and talk your talk, man. You've done some absolutely amazing things. You're a staple in the fitness community. You're a staple in a lot of community. I mean, just the stuff you've done is like, I mean, you've kind of set the bar for, I mean, I've talked to Jarrell about you. Shouts to Jarrell and the NFM team.
Jarrell's
But
cool.
Jarrell's a great,
He's good people.
He's a great human being.
I've never seen him train people.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it's a party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He just looks like the guy who, he probably has a very low cancellation rate.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
imagine his people are like, I need my
And if
Jarrell fix for the day.
There you go.
I have a guy at my gym who trains, his name's Colin Shane. I'm so lucky to have found this guy when I got here. And he and I are in the trenches side by side at the
Yeah.
gym, at our gym. And
Shout your gym out.
and cool. My gym is it's called Common Ground, but it's just me and Colin there.
Okay.
And but he also super low cancellation rate because there's just something about him. You're like, I don't want to miss my time with Colin.
Right.
And it's I see guys like that, and it makes me go, the fitness industry's in a very good place. There are a
Yeah,
lot
right.
of really good people in it. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's some dirtbags and some
Absolutely.
dickheads, but
Sure. That's in.
but
That's
there's
in
some
every.
really good people in this industry. It's
That's
funny.
right.
We were just with my son and some people who are friends of ours. We were at we went to Smith Lake for the first time.
Nice.
And I was talking to these two of the dads. We drove into Cullman, Alabama to work out on both days, and we were talking about some of the stuff that we share on this Instagram thread. And the one guy goes, "Man, there are a lot of funny people in the world." And I go, "Well, you got to figure there's 8 billion people. Like,
There's going to be a lot of
there's going to be some funny, but you kind of underestimate how funny people are with and quick funny.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
One of my buddies says, it doesn't have to be that funny if it's that fast.
That's it.
And that's what he
Timing's
says to me all the
everything.
time. He goes, "Gee, it's not that your shit's that funny all the time." He goes, "But the synapses are just pop, pop, pop." It's funny. You know, that there's some great. Eddie Murphy said that in a recent interview with Gayle King about, he was talking about his new, what I think it's Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley on Netflix, right? But he said they asked him if he wanted to go do stand-up again. And he said, "I look at it and maybe I would do stand-up with some music. I would do like an hour and a half full type show." He goes, "But there are a lot of comics out there, and there are a lot of good comics out there." And I think that's very, very true.
Yes.
And I think back in the day, there wasn't as much access. People didn't have as many platforms. Even if you were funny, how do you get that out to the masses?
You have to be top of Def Jam, right?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
now,
really. Yeah,
there are some really great, funny people out there. And I think in fitness, there are some really great trainers and strength coaches and movement specialists and physical therapists. And it's just like, if you want to get strong or you want to get lean or you want to return to play or you want to change your body composition, now it's there for the taking.
100%. That's beautiful. So you've trained across the board, all types of industries.
I was in the right place.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to
LA's,
give that. That's not faux humility. I was in the right place.
How long were you in LA?
35 years.
Okay. Yeah. That's insane.
It's not. I mean, it's I was in the right place. I was at the crossroads. There was no. It was not an accident that my gym was on the pulse of that city. Like if you're going into Hollywood or towards Santa Monica or south down to Venice or into the valley, you're probably going to be sort of near my gym at some point. So if we can work out the time and you can schedule around it, I'm a logical destination.
Right. That's strategic.
And I had parking off street. Again, not faux humility. I know what we did as a business there. I had off street parking in LA. That's unheard of. Mm-hmm. And it's free. I mean, it's not. It's all like, I don't have somebody down there, docking you $5, $18 an hour, whatever it is. Like, pull in, park. Good.
Cool.
And that's a hard thing to get in LA. So that makes me a logical destination. It makes me, plus I try to stay on top of my industry. I read a lot. I watch a lot of videos. I take deep dives on Google and Instagram and following things. I travel to seminars still to this day. I listen. I sit front row. I listen. I try to track down the people after. I ask questions. I shoot messages to people who I don't know. I wait after they speak to introduce myself, to pry a little bit. If I'm gleaning 2, 3, 4 things from every seminar, and I'm doing 2, 3, 4 seminars a year, I'm that much better every year.
That's awesome.
And I don't rule anything out.
Right.
I'll talk to NFL strength coaches, NBA strength coaches, MLB strength coaches, UFC strength coaches, people who work with dancers, people who do choreography, power lifters, people who train strongmen. And there's a difference between powerlifting and strongman training.
Big time difference.
Yeah. So if I can pull something from all of those worlds, if I can talk to the Judd Lineharts, the Adam Dirks, the Matt Wennings, the Colin Shanes, the Harley Pasternaks, the Luke Miltons, the Jen Wiederstroms, the Bert Sorens, all those people that are out there, and pull a little something from everybody and help cobble together my own formats and protocols, and I can evolve those over time, then I'm getting better
100%
all the time.
And that's just, I mean, you can tell that's like deep rooted. Like it's not an option.
I love this shit.
Like
I love this.
I know.
I wake up every day. What am I going to do today? Oh, that feels weird. I didn't know I was going to be sore there. Okay, I'll probably skip that, but I'll move over to this. It's just
continuous improvement.
And maybe that makes me a simpleton. I wrote that to my brother yesterday about something. I said, maybe I'm just a simpleton dude, and this is what I This is what I chase. But
That's
when
not
we go to
simple.
the lake in Alabama, I literally am Googling what gym am I going to tomorrow because I'm not missing. And yes, I
Yeah.
could just do like push-ups and squats and sprints up the driveway. Not that we didn't do that, but I'm also trying to find a place to stay on my program.
That's awesome. I don't know how to ask this. Like, you've worked with like some of the biggest.
Don't be shy.
Okay,
It's too late for that shit.
All right. I mean, you've worked with some of the biggest stars of all time. Have you ever been like starstruck, or is that something that's just been gone over time?
I'd have to look up the exact definition of starstruck.
Sure.
If it means you freeze in your tracks and you can't find your words and
Yeah.
you fumble all over yourself and
Yeah. I mean, that's
have
pretty
diarrhea
close.
of the mouth, and that, no.
Never, never.
No, but I tell you what I do think. I do think it would be, and I used to say that, I think it'd be a funny study. Is there something that happens, like a dilation of the pupils and something that fires in your brain when someone walks in to your space or
Yeah,
you walk into their
that's what
space
I'm asking.
and the person that you've seen on a big screen
Yeah.
or you've only seen two-dimensionally on
Yes.
a television or a big screen, not so much you see them on your phones nowadays,
Sure.
but back then it was like you've only seen somebody on a movie screen, 30 by 20,
Sure.
and now you're seeing them in person. There has to be some kind of physiological response that you go through. I think that for sure.
Okay.
And I think it's usually they're taller, they're shorter, they're thinner, they're fatter, they're older, they're younger, they're cooler, they're not as cool, they're quieter, their voice is higher, their voice is lower, they dress better, they dress worse. Whatever it is, I think I think we quickly try to categorize
Yeah.
and put them in a way that we can know that we can go, okay, that's who they are.
Yeah.
And probably unfair.
Yep.
I don't Google people. When I get a call from somebody, like, sure, you may know the name, or I used to have a girl who worked in my gym and I'd say, this person reached out, and she would go, oh my God, they're this, they're that, they're married to this, and I'd go, settle down. I don't want to know any of that. I want to meet them.
Okay.
And
So that's just a process that.
I just want to meet them, and
Yeah.
I want to go through the workouts, and I want
Yeah.
to see how they like to work. I don't want to. They were married to somebody, and then they dated
Sure,
somebody else on the
sure,
side,
sure.
and then they left their family, and they're shitbag people. I don't want to know. I don't want to color it. Let me meet, because there are going to be
Yeah.
three sides to that story anyway.
Always.
So let me meet the person and get to know them and see how it feels before and who am I to judge anyway, before I categorize them anyway. So I don't look them up.
Yeah.
And that's been the same here in Nashville too.
Yeah, I bet.
I get a
Wow.
call, so-and-so, they're like, oh my God, that's a big country person.
Sure.
Or, oh, I know that girl. She's in this video. She's done this or that. And I go, calm down.
Yeah.
Let me see how the workouts go. Because that's really what I'm going to base it on.
That's amazing.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's unfair to them.
Right.
And it's
And you're serving them, so it's.
and it's also selling myself short. Like, who am I to that
Yeah.
I get to pass judgment? You are this person. Go here. You are this person. I will not. That's not right. It's
Man, that's
you
awesome.
meet them same way I met you.
Yeah.
I meet you at that
At the expo.
muscle show.
Mhm.
Somebody said to me it was called the Muscle Expo. I think it was called the Music City.
Music City Expo. Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
Which that's Terry Barga. I think
Yeah,
that's such a
Terry
cool
G's,
event. I've
yeah.
been here 2 years. I've been to the event 2 years.
Yeah.
Both years it's gotten. The first year it was cool. The second year was cool times 5.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how
Next
cool
year.
it's going
I
to be
know.
next year.
They're killing it.
But I meet you. I'm not going to meet you and not like. I got to see who you are, what
Yeah.
you do,
Appreciate that.
and then let's see how it goes and move from there. And some people you're drawn to, and you go, cool. They add value. That's cool in my life, or I don't need that.
Sure.
And it doesn't need to be more than that.
That's it.
There's
Man,
a
we
lot-
really complicate this thing called life, don't we? Sometimes.
Big time.
Yeah.
And people need, and it's a control thing, people need to be able to categorize and to accept or dismiss right off the bat. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need a bad guy in my movie.
That's right.
I don't need that. When I
Man,
see that
that's good,
someone is
bro.
villainous or that like there's nefarious intentions, I'd rather just cut that off.
Yeah.
I don't want that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
And
need
it doesn't take long to recognize that either, right? Like,
but I don't need to then keep you in some way so I can always have the bad guy to play against. I
Yeah.
don't need that.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know some people that move into different spheres in their life and there's immediately someone bad.
Right.
And I go, you're that guy. You need that villain.
You need the
need to
villain.
cast the antagonist in the movie in order to be the superhero.
Come on.
I don't need that.
I love that. That's very spread the positive.
That's because I'm old, dude. That's
a
because I'm
baseline
old.
That's a baseline for this whole thing, man.
Spread the positive.
Yes,
That's
man.
what we just did right there.
We really did. And it's simple to, it's not hard. I agree. And man, that was really well said. People like seek that antagonistic thing to justify who they are.
Yeah.
What does that say about them, right? Like that is, and I hate to go there, but you kind of have to. Like,
So
what does
many
that say
people-
about? What does that say about you? If you need a bad guy, that's weird. That's kind of that's paradoxical.
But it's easier for me at this age and this stage to look in the mirror and go, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah,
I want to be a better person.
that's it.
I tell my son, your producer,
Saying.
I tell him every day, the whole game is work on being better
That's it.
at everything you do. And it doesn't mean you have to just grind. That's such a tired word.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to just always push yourself to your almost turning into dust because you're just working. But it means each thing you do it a little better. Did you
Yeah.
ever read that book by James Clear, Atomic Habits?
Yeah, classic.
Right, classic. But he talks about, like, I think he calls it preparing the room.
Yes.
So when you leave a room, right, put the remote back, fluff the cushions. If you're reading a book, set it down, neaten up the table, pick up anything you brought into the room, a drink, food, whatever it was, and leave it. So when you go back into the room, it's better than it is.
Yep.
And it's ready to be used again.
Right.
I think that applies to more than the room. I think that applies to relationships. Prepare the relationship so when I go back into that relationship, we're in a good place. Don't blow off someone's text. Even if you can just write, hey, things got ahead of me today, I'll hit you back tomorrow.
That
But
goes
don't
a
just,
long way.
it goes a long way. And you're never the guy who blew them off. And if they are the person who needs the bad guy and you did it, you just cast yourself in that role for them. And it's like with a workout, right? You give somebody a bad workout, they're going to tell 10 people. You give somebody a good workout, they're going to tell one person. Yeah. That's across the board, especially in the service industry. So if I blow off a text, they're going to tell 10 people that I blew them off.
Yeah.
If I return it, they may not tell anybody, or they'll tell one. But either way, I stayed on top of my game, and I didn't give them a reason to turn me into the villain.
That's it. Dang, that's good. That's a top 3 moment of recording.
But it's not.
It's nothing crazy.
It's not that
just
hard.
Doing the right thing.
It's not
doing
that
the
hard.
extra work.
It's not that hard.
Whew, that hit, man. That hit. I needed that today. Man, that hit. So I always ask a few signature questions on the way out, man. You just read the tagline, bringing light to what's going right. According to you, Gunnar Peterson, what is going right in the world?
What's going right?
Yep.
I think we're headed back to more unity.
Yep.
I think we did the Great Divide.
Yep.
And I think we're headed back. I think it's a slow because I think it's a slow roll because I think people are hesitant. I think people are wary. I think they're fearful, but I think ultimately we're headed back. And I don't think there's a way to accelerate it. I don't think you can, hit turbo and get there quicker. But I think if you just stay open to it and think good thoughts first, then, that old thing that's a little bit overused now, you never know what someone's going through. But
that's facts,
when I talk to my kids about that, if somebody acts like a dick, whether it's in traffic or in a restaurant, just think, yeah, they probably got some stuff going on.
Clearly.
And just let it ride. You don't have to confront it and beat it to death. I'm not saying if someone's not aggressively rude to you, you shouldn't stand your ground. Of course, I believe you should. But for some of it, give them a little grace.
Grace all day.
Yeah.
Grace all day. I love that. All right, another one we always do. One person in your life that really lives out the mission. Someone that's, not delusionally positive, but just is actively seeking out opportunities to spread the positive and basically just facilitate stuff that's working. Who's somebody that comes to mind?
I think my wife.
Let's go.
My wife is just, without going down a thorough checklist, she's like the best person I've ever met.
Yeah.
She's just got the best heart. She comes at things from a positive. She doesn't go in worried about anything negative. She just takes it and when she leaves, what's that? There's a Navy SEAL thing. Leave it better than you found it.
Sure.
My wife is not a Navy SEAL, but I feel like everything she leaves it better than she found it.
That's very much it. That's what it's all about. I mean, that's literally.
I'll say another thing. My mom had this amazing ability, and my brother has it also. But my mom would leave, and whoever she was just with, they were lighter and brighter. And they always had something nice to say. When my brother, he has such incredible energy, and he's so, it's like this, it's an energy about him. He can control the energy in a room.
Yes.
And if he's coming in hot, man,
That room's gonna feel it.
You are gonna have the best time ever with him. And my mom left everybody with a smile. Like literally, we had someone who was a massage therapist in LA, and I'll never forget. My mom was in town, and I said, "Hey, would you work on my mom?" She worked on all my clients out there, this woman, and would you work on my mom? She did, and she came out of the room, and she was more enlightened and relaxed,
Yeah.
and she said, "I would like your mother to adopt me," and I just thought, "Yep, that's pretty much my mom."
That's an incredible answer. I love that. All right, one last thing, man. I call it the grateful for. 4 things you're most grateful for right now.
In no particular order, because I don't want anybody to feel something. My kids, my wife, my parents, and my brother.
Wow.
In no particular order.
Okay.
I know that
Honestly, I might make you do one. That might be one.
But that circle,
that's family.
It is family,
right?
But they're very, very, very different. And
right.
what I get from each one of them, the other cannot give.
Okay.
So, having had my parents, but more so my mom, from the time spent, how that impacted me, how I grew into me because of my mom, I give her that. My brother is a North Star in terms of just life and wisdom and knowledge, and there's a difference in the two.
Yep.
My wife is just a good person, grounds me, makes me check myself, but allows me to reach outside what I am maybe capable of or want to do. She'll let me do it, and then she'll say, but it's not the right thing, and I'll pull it back. And my kids, that's the energy every day. That's like you put your phone in the charger at night and you wake up and that thing is full battery.
That's what your kids do.
When I talk to my kids or spend time with my kids, and I have 5 kids. I have Henry, Jack, Sloan, Zane, and Monroe. Whichever one I spend time with, when I step away, the battery's full.
That's beautiful.
It's true.
That's beautiful. I might push you. I'm gonna call that 1.
Okay, call it 1. So what else you need?
We need 3 more.
Things that I'm grateful for. Is it that? The ability to exercise.
Okay.
The fact that I'm able to chase down things in the gym, from movements to protocols, and I still have that. And even as I'm not the athlete I was or thought I was, I've definitely lost a step, to put it in athletic terms. I still am able to do. That's 2. The ability to share the stuff I love, my passion,
really
my
good
jazz, my buzz for exercise, that people still want to come to me to do that. And I feel like they leave better every day, whether it's a pro athlete, an entertainer, a working mom, a working dad, a young person trying to gain control over that facet of their life. I love that part. And maybe the fact that I'm able to stay open, positive, receptive to all the good stuff that's out there in the world.
Damn.
I don't want to go into life going, the world sucks,
Yes,
people suck.
man.
I don't do that.
That's a good.
I'm always open to the positive, and not silver lining, not like fake corny Pollyanna, but definitely like
the real.
This is going to be good stuff today.
That's amazing.
Like my son said, "Where are we driving?" And I said, "Don't worry, we're going to go. We're going to go somewhere we've never been. We're going to go. We're going to go, and it's going to be good, and it's going to be cool." And I like going into every day, everything like that. Not corny, not hokey.
Love and acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I love that. Gunnar Peterson, man, this is an honor. Thank you so much for being on. Very excited for any and all opportunities moving forward, man. We were talking a little off mic, and man, I'm here for it all. So
Me too. It'll be cool.
Team STP is all things, anything we can do, man. Here for you, and it's really hit, man. This hit hard. So this is why I do this selfishly. It fills my cup in a way that's really hard to explain. But this one hit, man. Thank you.
Yeah, but it fills your cup, and then you're spreading it out there. So
Yeah, man.
I'm honored to be part of it. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for reaching out about this. And that's that fortuitous thing.
Yeah,
and
man.
things collide. And thank you to all the people at Nashville Fit.
Yeah,
for
man. Shouts to
ultimately
Nashville
connecting us.
Fit, fam. That wouldn't have happened this wouldn't happen without them. And
Correct.
they are a special group of people too, man. So
I agree.
big things on deck, sir. I appreciate you again. We'll wrap this one up. Y'all be sure to follow Gunnar. It's at Gunnar Fitness, Gunnar Fitness. Be sure to follow him. He's an amazing follow. All things fitness, all things life. Hopefully we got that. We're going to wrap this one up. Thank you, Gunnar.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much,
you, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Spread the Positive podcast. For more information about all the things we got going here at Spread the Positive, please check us out, spreadthepositive.net. Get involved with our underwriting, advertising, sponsorship program, start a podcast, or if you just want to support the mission, reach out on spreadthepositive.net or any of our social media handles at Spread the Positive. Look forward to connecting with y'all and giving y'all another fire episode on the next one. Thank you, and we will see you then. Let's go.